Liverpool look ready to take their pursuit of Bradley Barcola to another level, with reports in France claiming the Reds are preparing a massive formal offer for the Paris Saint-Germain winger. Let's break this down. There is so much to discuss in today's video, so be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. This is no longer just a case of Liverpool monitoring the situation or holding conversations behind the scenes. According to L'Equipe's Loic Tanzi, Liverpool are now expected to put an offer on the table worth around €115 million, approximately £98.5 million, for the 23-year-old. And while that figure would be enough to make this one of the biggest deals of the summer, it reportedly still falls short of what PSG want. The French champions are said to be holding out for something closer to €150 million, or around £128.5 million. So Liverpool could be about to make a bid that PSG reject. But the important part is what this offer actually represents. Liverpool making a formal approach of this magnitude would be a major statement of intent. It would show that Barcola isn't simply one name on a long transfer shortlist. He is now the player Liverpool have identified as their #1 target. And there is another major reason why this situation is becoming increasingly interesting. Barcola is reportedly ready to move to Anfield, with claims that he has already agreed personal terms on a contract with Liverpool. That could be absolutely crucial, because while PSG may want a figure approaching €150 million, Liverpool appear to have something working in their favour. The player himself is seemingly pushing towards a move to Merseyside. Talks between Liverpool's sporting director Richard Hughes and PSG counterpart Luis Campos are reportedly progressing smoothly, while PSG president Nasser Al-Khelaifi is also said to have been involved in discussions with Liverpool's hierarchy. That suggests this is much more advanced than a simple transfer rumour. Liverpool have already shown this summer that they are prepared to spend huge money when they believe the right player is available. They previously targeted Yan Diomande and reportedly submitted a €100 million bid, only for RB Leipzig to reject it before the teenager eventually joined Real Madrid. But Barcola is a completely different situation. The French winger is 23, has already established himself at PSG, and crucially appears to be open to leaving Paris for Liverpool. That is potentially the difference maker. PSG still have a very strong negotiating position though. Barcola has 2 years remaining on his contract, and the club have no immediate need to sell him. They have also strengthened their attacking options, bringing in Magnus Akliouche from Monaco for around €50 million, while preparing a move for Ajax winger Mika Götze. And interestingly, Liverpool are also reportedly pursuing another PSG winger, Ibrahim Mbaye, who could be available for a considerably smaller fee. But everything points back to Barcola. Liverpool's first expected bid of around £98.5 million could be rejected. PSG reportedly wants significantly more. The question now is whether Liverpool are prepared to break the bank to get their #1 target. Because if the Reds are willing to move towards that €150 million valuation, we could be looking at one of the biggest transfers in Liverpool's history. And with Barcola reportedly already agreeing personal terms, the biggest obstacle may no longer be the player. It could simply come down to how much Liverpool are willing to pay PSG. This is where the situation gets really interesting, because the first formal offer could be just the beginning of what becomes a huge transfer battle. In other news, Liverpool's search for defensive reinforcements has taken another dramatic twist, and this latest update may come as a surprise to many supporters. After an outstanding World Cup campaign reignited his reputation, and reports emerged suggesting Jed Spence had been offered to Liverpool, speculation quickly gathered pace over whether the Tottenham fullback could be heading to Anfield. But despite the excitement, fresh information has now painted a very different picture. Spence has been heavily linked with Liverpool over recent weeks, with many fans believing the versatile 25-year-old would be an ideal addition to Andoni Iraola's squad, capable of operating on either flank and counting as a homegrown player. He appeared to tick plenty of boxes, especially given Liverpool's current injury crisis in defence. The rumours intensified when reports claimed Spence had been offered to both Liverpool and Manchester United, seemingly opening the door to a blockbuster Premier League move. However, respected journalists Alex Crook and Ben Jacobs have since moved to cool those reports, insisting Liverpool are not actively pursuing the Tottenham defender. According to Jacobs, the Reds are not currently working on a deal for Spence and remain fully focused on alternative transfer targets. While Liverpool are still expected to strengthen defensively before the September 1st deadline, their priorities appear to lie elsewhere. The need for reinforcements is obvious. Joe Gomez, Giovanni Leone, Jeremy Jacquet, and Connor Bradley are all sidelined through injury, leaving Virgil van Dijk as the club's only fit senior centre-back. Meanwhile, Jeremy Frimpong has effectively become Liverpool's first-choice right-back, despite the coaching staff viewing him as a more versatile option rather than a long-term specialist in that role. The Athletic's James Pearce has confirmed Liverpool are actively assessing the market, but he also suggested a move for an out-and-out fullback isn't currently the club's priority. Instead, the Reds are believed to be targeting a defender capable of covering both centre-back and right-back, a profile similar to Gomez's versatility rather than a specialist like Spence. Journalist David Lynch has echoed that stance, explaining Liverpool's immediate focus remains on attacking additions, with PSG duo Bradley Barcola and Ibrahim Mbaye occupying much of the club's attention. Only once those pursuits develop could Liverpool turn their attention back towards defensive recruitment. From Spence's perspective, it's easy to understand why he's exploring his options. Tottenham have strengthened at left-back with the signing of Andy Robertson, while Pedro Porro has committed his future by signing a new long-term contract, leaving Spence's pathway to regular football far from guaranteed. On paper, a move to Liverpool seemed to make plenty of sense. However, the latest reports suggest the club simply doesn't view him as the right fit for the role they're trying to fill. It's also worth remembering that when a player is reported to have been offered to clubs, that often originates from representatives testing the market rather than the selling club actively pushing for a transfer.